Now we continue our coverage of the Amarillo Economic Development Corporation's recent commerce building transaction.
And tonight we're looking at one local development firm that was involved in that transaction and examining how it's connected to several institutions in the city.
ABC 7 investigator David Grasso-Ortega has been following the story now for months and has the latest. David, good evening.
Lisa, Larry, the commerce building transaction has prompted a federal inquiry into the Amarillo Economic Development Corporation. Tonight we're digging deeper into other real estate transactions facilitated through public-private partnerships with the Prana Development Group, the AEDC, and other local academic institutions in our area.
Amarillo is a small town by many measures, and in the professional world it's no different.
I think that it would be pretty much impossible to find a project like this that would be transformational for the community, where you're not going to have overlap between the business industry, the philanthropic industry, and the development industry like you have in this.
And the overlap between business and philanthropy is evident when looking at the Commerce Building transaction. The Commerce Building was purchased by a Prana-connected company for $1.675 million and then sold to the Amarillo Economic Development Corporation, or AEDC, for $3.1 million. Later, that same building was gifted to West Texas A&M University for the Downtown Amarillo Center, or the downtown campus. The WT Foundation Board includes Alan Rhodes, Kathy Cornett, and Dyke Rogers, who also happen to be investors in Prana. Kelly Utzinger, Alan Rhodes' lawyer, says that this is a small, close-knit community.
And when you talk about the network of people in Amarillo and the Panhandle, Amarillo is kind of isolated and a little insular in a sense that it's right in the middle of the Panhandle. There aren't any real big communities close to it, and there are a lot of long-standing institutions and families here that have grown to know each other over the years.
Getting you up to speed on another transaction, Prana is now developing the Eastport Business Park. The land for the Eastport Business Park was purchased by Prana from Amarillo College. That deal was approved by the Amarillo Foundation for Education and Business. There are two Prana board members on the Amarillo Foundation for Education and Business, Alan Rhodes and Joe Bob McCart. Prana, through the sale of the Commerce Building, is connected to the AEDC. Another connection is through the Eastport Business Park, which is marketed by the AEDC. The AEDC also manages the Centerport Business Park, which has property that is owned by Prana. Since the AEDC has facilitated many of these deals, some are calling for more scrutiny when public money is used. The ultimate oversight over the AEDC is the Amarillo City Council.
You know, as an elected official of 8 years, I can't speak for my fellow council members, but I think ultimately I'm responsible for that because we have appointed the members of the AEDC board. And so I take responsibility for those issues that perhaps were not vetted as well as they could have been. And as far as my involvement goes in the future, it's going to be my plan to see that they're vetted more fully.
The AEDC declined to comment on matters related to the Commerce Building because their legal counsel has advised them not to speak to matters that are currently under investigation by federal authorities. Alan Rhodes' lawyer, Kelly Utzinger, has confirmed his client and Prana's professional affiliations and business dealings and say they welcome transparency in all of these transactions.
All right, thanks very much.